My friend, this news is definitely exciting. The anxiety surrounding the season opener against the Cowboys is only growing, and today, encouraging new updates emerged directly from the Eagles' medical department. 3 key players who had fans worried gave signs of life, and one of them responded with just 2 words that set the locker room ablaze. But don't worry, that's not all. There have been unexpected developments from Nick Sirianni regarding the impact of Micah Parsons' departure in Dallas. And also, changes in the lineup that have brought reinforcements back to the roster. If you love the Eagles and are already counting down the days until week 1, like and subscribe now, because what I'm about to tell you here could completely change the way you view the start of the season. In recent days, Philadelphia Eagles fans have experienced a veritable roller coaster of emotions. Preparing for a season full of expectations, the season has seen some of its key players face injuries that have left everyone apprehensive. But, to the delight of fans, the latest news is a true breakthrough, and the recovery of big names promises to further strengthen the season. The first name that deserves attention is Landon Dickerson, the Eagles' robust left guard. After suffering a meniscus injury that required surgery, the dreaded timeout seemed to threaten Dickerson's season debut. However, the offensive lineman is already back in training. He appeared with a spec sleeve on his right leg, but even so, the excitement surrounding his recovery is palpable. For fans, his presence in the crucial matchup against the Cowboys is crucial. Dickerson is a key player in protecting quarterback Jalen Hurts and creating space for Philly's running game. Another name that made fans sigh about a breakup was A.J. Brown. The wide receiver, who had been limited during training camp due to a hamstring injury, showed clear signs that he's ready to shine in week 1. When asked about his participation in the opening game against Dallas, his answer was simple but confident. Of course. With this attitude, A.J. Brown appears more than ready to be one of the Eagles' main offensive weapons, and his presence on the field brings even more hope to fans. The situation of rookie safety, Andrew Mukuba, also brought good news. The player, who has been recovering from a hamstring injury, returned to practice and, with another week of recovery, is gaining momentum to become a valuable alternative at safety. However, there is still a question mark over his starting role, as the competition between him and the experienced Sidney Brown is wide open. Fans will be closely watching this matchup, as Mukuba's quality and youth could be decisive for the future of the Eagles' defense. While some concerns remain, the situation of backup quarterback Tanner McKee doesn't appear to be a major issue at the moment. McKee suffered an injury during the investigation, which limited his participation in practice. However, veteran Sam Howell took over the second-half snaps, keeping operations under control. This obstacle, for now, doesn't appear to threaten the team's planning. With most players recovering and in good shape, the Eagles head into week 1 with renewed energy. Of course, there are still some concerns, such as Nakobe Dean's injury, which continues to loom large. However, the return of key players like Dickerson and A.J. Brown is a huge advantage for the Philly franchise. The team is well equipped, with key players back in action, and the big question is, will the players' recovery be the deciding factor in another historic victory in the opening game against the Cowboys? In a year where expectations are high, the weather seems to be aligned with the expectations of its fans. And while the health of the starters is encouraging for the Eagles, the other side is in a state of surprise. Micah Parsons' departure has even affected Nick Sirianni. What was supposed to be a promising season for the Dallas Cowboys took a new and unexpected turn last week. In a move that took even the most die-hard fans by surprise, Micah Parsons, one of the Cowboys' biggest defensive stars, was traded to the Green Bay Packers. The news came as a bombshell, leaving a significant void in Dallas's pass rush, and now the burning question is, how will this affect the matchup against the Eagles and the rest of the season for the Cowboys? Micah Parsons, who has been one of the biggest pressurers on opposing quarterbacks in recent years, was traded for a package of 2 first-round picks and defensive tackle Kenny Clark. The trade, which shocked many, not only shook the confidence of Dallas fans, but also raised eyebrows among analysts about the real reasons behind the decision. Parsons, who had a tremendous impact on Dallas's pass rush, accounted for more than 2/3 of the pressure on opposing quarterbacks last year. His absence could mean a weakening of the Cowboys' defense, especially when it comes to containing the explosive offense of teams like the Eagles. The Philadelphia team, which already boasts a solid line and a rising quarterback, Jalen Hurts, could gain some extra breathing room under pressure from the opposing defense. With a surprise trade, Eagles coach Nick Sirianni was asked about the impact of Parsons' absence from the field against the Cowboys. Sirianni's response, always focused on the job at hand and not swayed by speculation, was straightforward. "We have so much going on here. We're preparing to play the Cowboys, so he's in their game planning thoughts, but they still have have players they need to prepare for. Kenny Clark is a big name, and with him, their defense remains strong. For Sirianni, the loss of Parsons doesn't change the team's approach. He didn't allow himself to be distracted from the strategy and emphasized that the Cowboys' defense still has plenty of talent, with Kenny Clark being a big name. Furthermore, game preparation goes far beyond a single player. Sirianni's philosophy is to focus on the team as a whole, keeping an eye on what the Eagles can do on the field. The big question lingering is, will the Parsons trade actually weaken Dallas's pass rush to the point of opening up an opening for the Eagles' offense to shine even more? Parsons' absence undoubtedly leaves a specific void in the Cowboys' defense. His ability to initiate the quarterback and create disruptive plays has been one of the team's greatest assets in recent years. With him out, the pressure on Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts may ease somewhat, giving him more time to make decisions and execute the passing game. Furthermore, with an aggressive line and players like A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith to catch passes, the Eagles can capitalize on this potential weakness in the Cowboys' defense. Of course, the Cowboys aren't without resources. The arrival of Kenny Clark to form a defensive line and his experience certainly adds value to the Dallas defense. But will he be able to overcome Parsons' absence in terms of quarterback pressure and decisive plays? That's a big question. The Parsons trade sparks much discussion about the Cowboys' immediate future and how they prepare to face one of the season's biggest challenges, the Eagles. In a game where every detail can make a difference, the departure of such a key player as Parsons leaves Dallas fans with their hearts in their mouths. And while the coach focuses on the game plan against Dallas, the spotlight is on the news. Philadelphia has bolstered the roster with some well-known players. With the countdown to their big matchup against the Dallas Cowboys just days away, the Philadelphia Eagles have been keeping fans on edge, constantly offering new surprises. After good injury updates and the explosive trade involving Micah Parsons, the Philly franchise hasn't stopped there. They know that every piece is crucial in such a challenging season, and therefore have made strategic decisions that could make all the difference on the field. The first major accomplishment was the reinstatement of Kenyon Green to the active roster. For those unfamiliar with the situation, Green was released last week, but the Eagles quickly changed their minds. The former Texans player acquired by Philly in a C.J. Gardner-Johnson trade returns with a clear mission to strengthen the experienced line. This is a critical area, as the protection for quarterback Jalen Hurts and the blocking for the running backs need to be perfect to ensure the offense functions efficiently. Having another experienced player like Green could be a significant differentiator at this point. The Eagles' offensive line is already one of the most respected in the league, and the addition of Green will provide additional depth and added security in case a title needs to be wrested during the season. Green's presence also brings stability, especially as the season settles and prepares for high-level competition. While the Eagles already have a star-studded roster, long-term success depends not only on having strong starters, but also on maintaining a cohesive group, ready to perform under any circumstances. But the reinforcements don't stop there. Terrace Marshall, the wide receiver who was cut last week, has also been added to practice time. While Marshall won't be on the regular roster immediately, he gets a chance to prove himself and shape a coaching staff that can be useful when needed. He has a chance to learn and develop in the training environment, and perhaps even be called up for full-time training during the season. Injuries can happen, and Marshall's practice time could be crucial in ensuring the Eagles aren't caught off guard if any of their offensive starters need a break. The last-minute moves show the Eagles are considering every possibility. The team is making smart adjustments, not just for the opening matchup, but for the entire season. This attention to detail and roster depth demonstrate the franchise's commitment to ensuring the Philadelphia machine runs smoothly, even with the challenges a long season brings. And with the competition already fierce, these changes could be the factor that separates the champions from the runners-up. Now, a big question. Will these additions be enough to secure a victory over the Cowboys on Thursday? Or will the Eagles need another trick up their sleeve? What's clear is that Philadelphia isn't leaving anything to chance. Every move is made with precision. Every choice has a purpose. And this is what can ensure the Eagles remain at the top, ready to face any opponent they throw their way. With Kenyon Green and Terrace Marshall back, Philly is more prepared than ever to face the Dallas Cowboys and begin their quest for another Super Bowl title. Let's see how these reinforcements will impact the match and, of course, the rest of the season. With the recovery of key players like Landon Dickerson and A.J. Brown, the surprise trade of Micah Parsons to the Packers, and the strategic additions of Kenyon Green and Terrace Marshall, how do you think these moves will impact the Eagles' performance against the Cowboys and their quest for a Super Bowl title this season? Leave your opinion here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later to update you with the latest Eagles news.